Hello, I'm Valentin Mandace from Historic Houses of Romania, Case de Epocă, and today I would like just to chat about Bucharest Art Deco architecture, to show you a few photographs and have a small discussion about them, especially the Art Deco favorite theme in Bucharest, the ocean liner. I made here a selection, just to change the microphone to make it easier, of a few photographs from the great multitude of such buildings in Bucharest. This is one of them. But first of all, let's try to go into the fundamentals of the Art Deco and this phenomenon, architectural phenomenon in Bucharest and in Romania in general. Conventionally, the style starts in 1925 with an exhibition in Paris in which these new forms with symbolism, rectangular, a bit more abstract, using modern building technology, modern materials of design and building, comes with an exhibition in 1925 in Paris called Exposition des Arts et Objets Décoratifs, hence Art Deco, and it quickly spreads all over the world. It's one of the first global architectural fashions emerging after the Great War. It has roots in Art Nouveau and modernist movements before the Great War, like some Italian architects were into this more modern designs. It was a Dutch movement, the steel. Germans had some strides into it, and an impetus, a kind of kernel of the Art Deco was given by Charles Rennie Mackintosh with his designs in Glasgow, for example, which went then inspiring the secession movement of Vienna, and so on and so forth, emerging after the war in this new fashion called Art Deco later on. In Bucharest, the Art Deco starts timidly. I found some buildings from 1926. Those are the earliest ones, so basically just 1 year after that exhibition in Paris. A few of them, which I was able to identify, were from 1928, 1929, just before the Great Crisis. But it's an explosion of Art Deco in the entire town after the Depression, Great Depression, 1929-1933, especially in the last half of the decade of the 1930s. It's basically explodes. The entire town is built in Art Deco and the concurrent style modernism. And it gives the identity of Bucharest. Basically, the town has three main architectural trends, each of them more or less in equal proportion from my eye observation. Is the one from the La Belle Époque, the Little Paris, then we have the Neo-Romanian, which spread for about 60 years, and then this Art Deco has its peak in the 1930s and goes up until 1950s, even in the Stalinist period. So these are the three main trends of Bucharest. For Art Deco, which is 1/3 of, let's say, roughly put, of the heritage of Romania's capital, which is now the 6th largest European Union town, and after London will be the 5th largest European Union town. The Art Deco had some kind of favorite themes, which gave the spice, it gave its personality. I noticed that it's an Art Deco which has certain characteristics which you don't find them in Budapest, for example, in Vienna, in this area, in Southeast Europe, in Belgrade, different from Belgrade, or different from Sofia, Athens, or even Istanbul. It's a Bucharest touch of the Art Deco. And one of his most favorite themes is the ocean liner. The houses, the buildings look like an ocean liner, and the idea was to go to the southern seas, to much nicer pastures, let's put it that way, other kind of lands from here where we had Siberia kind of winters, for example. To travel with this ocean liners imaginary. That was the way to travel the world in the 1930s, not with a jet airplane like today. And as I shown you to you in the first photograph, this is an ocean liner. Just look at it. It has the bow of the boat, the command deck. This is a kind of chimney stack, and it has also flagpole and the cabins. You just come from work, stressed, and enter your ocean liner and travel imaginary to much nicer places and distress yourself for a new day's work next day. This one is in the area of Popasoare area, Jewish area of Bucharest, former Jewish area, of course, because we don't have many Jews left anymore. Again, in the Jewish quarter, another ocean liner, a decrepit building, unfortunately left dilapidated, and you can see how extraordinary it can be. Maybe this one is better. Let's put it closer. A proper ocean liner. You have the command deck over here, the chimney stack, the flagpole, the porthole of the captain, and these are the cabins. Look at them, so many portholes. This is the longest row of portholes in the entire town, and I'm pretty sure the building is scheduled for demolition. That's the way how the extraordinary good people of Bucharest appreciate their heritage. Another house, this is in the St. Sava High School area. Apparently it doesn't have the ocean liner theme, but you have to train your eye and mind a bit to see it. This is the bow of the ocean liner, command deck again, and the cabins on the side. So it's a highly abstract design, but it contains nearly, let's say, 80% of the houses from the 1930s are having the ocean liner theme. Another one, extremely interesting, which is designed by Ioan and Tiberiu Niga Architectural Bureau, one of the creators of the skylines of 1930s Bucharest. This one is in the area of the Ministry of Education, Cismigiu area. It's a building which sits on a very difficult geometry terrain, a triangle, and because of the triangle it imposes the architects had to do certain design tricks on the facades, and they managed to achieve the idea of three ocean liner, three boats moored together. You can see this kind of triangles, the balconies, they're like triangles, this one's here, this one here, this one next to each other. And it also gives the idea of the porthole in this kind of the portholes in this kind of sun access windows atop the building. Also it has a huge flagpole which is not seen in the photograph. So playing around with shapes and suggesting the ocean liner theme. That is all the genius of this architects, or this architectural bureau, Ioan and Tiberiu Niga, for example. Over here again, it's extremely interesting. It's the sveltness, the kind of streamlining the speed lines of an ocean liner. It's like looking at the chimney stack, or from the bottom of from the surface of the sea, on the side on a chimney stack. You have three speed lines to show the dynamism and confidence of that era, and here you have cabins on the side. This is designed by Baruch Zilberman, a designer and architect who was prosecuted during the anti-Semitic laws of the late 1930s and died being drowned in a boat torpedoed by a Soviet submarine, a boat which tried to take Romanian Jewish refugees to Palestine, and was torpedoed in the Black Sea. It's a long story. Another external design, I haven't been able to find the architect. It's in Cotroceni Quarter. This is the stern of a boat, of an ocean liner, the back of the boat. So we have the bow, then the stern on the other side. And look how suggestive it can be. It's like you sit in your balcony and you admire the waves of the ocean left behind the boat as you go to this kind of nicer pastures. Let's put it that way. The idea of the southern seas is even seen in the ironwork of the Bucharest Art Deco, like this kind of idea of palm trees, in this kind of industrial design gate, which again will probably disappear to the skip, to the, and they will throw it for rubbish, for example, or to metal skip, in order to recycle this kind of things. There's a huge trade going on in Bucharest with old architectural metal which is recycled. Or this one, even more exotic, a kind of huge spider. I photographed it from the interior of an apartment block from the 1930s in the area of Brezoianu Brezoianu Street, where here it's a staircase well, many of them in Bucharest of different profiles. Again, it's giving you an idea about the interior of a large ocean liner. And over here, artifacts grouped in three. Apart from the ocean liner in Bucharest, you have the rule of three on this, expounded on this style, shown all over the places, which comes from the ancient number of the Egyptians. And it goes together with the ocean liner. And we have things like the iron security, iron bars grouped in three, as we have here three kind of lights, like on an ocean liner and the entrance of a house, ornamental ironwork in this manner, or these security bars which they go into the wall in three steps, the rule of three again. So I hope that I gave you a glimpse, some glimpses into the Art Deco of Bucharest and its personality. It's something which, in my experience, and I traveled around a bit in Southeast Europe and all over Europe, it has a personality. If you get deeper into Art Deco and start to feel the place of Belgrade, of Sofia, of Bucharest, of Budapest, of Vienna, of Brussels, London, you feel that each place has its own kind of specificity, character, and certainly Bucharest has one. It has to be brought into light, and so I hope that I gave you an idea through this kind of glimpses. We'll see each other next time, with, as soon as possible, with another interesting subject then. Thank you, and goodbye.